My name is Brian Pillman Jr., and you're watching the Wrestling Rage YouTube show. Oh!
This is Wrestling Rage. This is Wrestling Rage. This is Wrestling Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. This is Wrestling Rage. This is Wrestling Rage. This is Wrestling Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade.
And now it's time for Wrestling Rage with your host, Cody Fleming.
All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wrestling Rage YouTube channel. I am Cody, 1/3 of the hosts for Wrestling Rage and Michigan Independent Weekly. Joining me right now is one Davison Sarai, who is the current Independence Pro Wrestling champion, women's champion, of course. Now, before I ask her some questions or we get to rapping or talking or whatever we do there, I would love for you to smash the subscribe button because, hey, if you're not subscribed, you should be. Also, smash the thumbs up. That way we, get some interaction here. And don't forget to scroll down into the description to check out all the social media of not only Davison Sarai, Independence Pro Wrestling, and Wrestling Rage and MIW. All that stuff's down there, including our Podbean, where you can find our audio content. But we're not only on Podbean, we're also on everywhere you get your podcasts, right? So if you are on iTunes or Spotify or Pandora or wherever it is that you like to listen to podcasts, you can find us. Just search Wrestling Rage with an R, RASSLIN Rage. And if you are listening on Podbean right now, which is going to be later because we're live on YouTube, of course, make sure you head on over to r2youtube.com and subscribe. All right. So, Davison, congratulations on your big win first. But
Thank you.
You're welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing really well today. I got to be honest. I was pretty tired throughout the week. I was very anxious, leading into last weekend.
Okay.
And I was kind of on a big high, I think, for a couple of days. So I think I'm finally kind of coming back down.
Mellowing out. Yeah. I'm pretty mellow too. So, but now.
Love that about you.
So before we talk about the win and the championship, let's talk a little bit about the beginnings of, right, Davison, and your wrestling. People, not so much when you started wrestling, but what is your first experience with pro wrestling in general that kind of caught your eye?
Yeah. I think I have my very first memory. I've thought about this a bunch.
Okay.
I was born in 76, and I think in 83 or 84, I think I saw a Ricky Steamboat jobber match on TV.
Okay.
I think that was the very first thing I ever saw. I think I saw baby blue pants and white boots. This tan, muscular dude beating the hell out of somebody, and I was like, "What? What? What is this?"
Right.
So I just got obsessed. Yeah, I don't know. My whole life, all through the different iterations of wrestling, just kind of hooked me. I don't know.
No, that's
one of those things.
That's awesome. I remember at a young age watching, it was Saturday mornings, WWF for me, because I was a kid and I watched Saturday morning cartoons and it was on during that time. And from there, it went on to where I'm at now. But is it something that you followed most of your life, or did you get away from it for a while? Because some people took a break for a while, like myself. But
I think I took a break, probably during high school.
Okay.
Let me think about it. So I was in high school from 91 to 94. Oh, yeah. Think about that. 91 to 94. Yeah, that's exactly the period I took off. I feel like when I got to college, it was 97 or 96. And that's right when Raw and WCW was starting to happen. But I'm old enough that I used to do that whole ESPN thing.
Okay.
I don't know how old you are. Do you remember AWA was on, WCCW was on?
Right.
Like school days after school.
Right.
So on any given week, it would be NWA 605 whatever day that was, AWA after school, WCCW after school, WWF whenever.
Right.
Yeah, all of it. Always been way into it.
Nice. That's interesting.
Mhm.
There was a period there where there wasn't much wrestling on for a while, right? Like it was just WWE, and that's really it, unless you were, privy to the independents for the most part. I really didn't even know the independents existed for not too long ago. Just
Okay.
my experience. How did you get involved in the independents?
Ring of Honor, I think, is really what got me going with it.
Okay.
Well, I think ECW was kind of starting to get me into maybe like, CZW came right behind that.
Mhm.
That was probably part of it. But really, I was super disappointed in what WWE was doing. I was just like ready to quit a fan altogether.
Okay.
And then I started hearing about CM Punk and Samoa Joe. And I was like, oh. And I looked into that. And then I kind of went backwards 3 or 4 years to the beginning of the company. And I followed that straight through. I own so many ROH DVDs, it's not even funny. Too many.
That's awesome.
And I think I watched all the way like right up till about the Cornette era. And I don't even know what happened. I just kind of got busy.
Right. Absolutely.
But yeah,
So,
I'd say Ring of Honor.
right. Okay. So then you get involved and at some point you start training. And I don't know, how long have you been training in wrestling?
Well, I train with Josh Raymond over here on the west side. And then I work for IPW.
Yes,
And
absolutely.
so that's kind of the west side company here as well. So I knew that he trained when we first met. So actually Mark, the other announcer,
Mhm.
he works at the radio station and oh God, he's gonna kill me. I don't remember what station it is. WKFR, maybe something.
Okay.
But anyway, so I met him. We did a podcast. I think we talked about this before.
Mhm.
And that our podcast is how we met Josh, and he invited us to do the commentary thing. But so during COVID, everybody was like depressed and everybody was like locked down. And I'd been wanting to work out for a long time. And it just kind of occurred to me like last fall, I asked Josh, not even to necessarily wrestle, but can I just come work out? Like,
Yeah.
I've seen you all working out. It looks fun. I don't know if I'm going to ever do it, and he was like, yeah, no, we could try that. And just kind of loved it right away, fell right into it. So it's been about a year.
That's awesome. So it was just
Yeah.
something that you were like, man, I'm gonna try this out, get into shape or what have you, and who knows where it leads. I like those kind of stories.
I'm really into the process, like
Right.
if you enjoy the process, the goal will figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of like anything else. You figure out you're kind of getting good at it, and it's like, oh, well, now I'm starting to imagine this.
Yeah.
And then you move in that direction a little bit. It's like, oh, now there's all these little opportunities. And it's a weird thing too. Like I talk to people about this all the time, like women's wrestling as compared to like men's or intergender wrestling. A
Yeah.
guy in the indies has to compete with 10,000 guys to stand out, whatever. For me in this state, for those of us who are doing it, I'd say it's like between 10 and 20.
Yeah.
So like it seems more realistic, faster, I think, just because of the odds.
Right.
And I think that also made it seem more possible.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you've been on the show before with Mark, and we talked about independent, we talked about IPW a little bit and, the upcoming events and some things like that. But so the skinny is you're on the sidelines and you're training in the background. You're doing, commentating, and tell us how it came about of you being involved in this match with Randy West.
Wow. I'll tell you the whole convoluted story, and I think you know some of this.
Okay.
Not only have I been the award-winning half of the award-winning commentary team here at IPW, I'm sure you've seen my trophy. I have a very important trophy that's on our desk at commentary. I'm on top of that, of course. But I was also granted the great honor of being put in charge of the mental health of all IPW employees during the pandemic. It was a very stressful time. I happen to be an honest-to-God licensed professional counselor, and I have been for a decade. So basically, they were like, hey, will you help keep our people together? And I said, absolutely. So I became the chairwoman of IPW's mental wellness task force as well. Now you can tell I have a lot of responsibility, Cody. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
very important jobs. So the next thing I knew, they were coming to me and saying, hey, you wear a lot of hats. You can clearly handle this responsibility. Can you help us get these participants together so we can crown a women's champion? Now, earlier this past summer, we had a couple of qualifying matches, and Randy West was one of our qualifiers. So she was a no-brainer to come back for the finals. The other person who won their qualifier was no longer available to us with some schedule conflicts. So that just wasn't a possibility. And that suddenly left a massive hole and an opportunity for me. So I went to management and said, yeah, I have your person. Your match is made. Randy was contacted to come in and do her part. And we thought it would be dramatic to not tell anybody who that competitor was going to be. Even Mark didn't know. Nobody in that building knew. And so I got in, I saw the footage, but I got in with the belt. Oh, wait. I got in with this belt.
Nice.
And I showed it off and said, hey, we're about to crown the new queen of this kingdom. And Randy came out and we hugged and were happy about this momentous occasion. And then her opponent's music started playing. And she turned around to look at the entrance like everybody else did. Nobody came out for a handful of seconds. And when she turned to look at me to see if I knew, that's when we started. I crushed her face.
Oh, wow. Well, you have to go in full assault on Randy West. I mean, I'm not trying to be anything other than truthful, because Randy West is no slouch in the wrestling world, and you know that too.
Randy West is fucking terrifying.
Right, right.
Let's not even pretend. Well, and why do you think, like, yeah, I had the opportunity and I kind of created the opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I also wanted to get a jump start. Let's be honest. That bitch is probably carrying a hammer or a nail gun or a box cutter. Like, God only knows.
Pizza
I
cutter.
don't want a mouthful of thumbtacks or a light tube up my ass. So I decided to knock her out before the match.
Right.
And she's too tough. So I thought I had her. And within seconds, she was kicking my ass.
Absolutely. How long did you guys go? Do you know?
Right around 10 minutes.
All right.
Give or take. We did some brawling around the ring at first. I don't even know if the bell had rung at that point. By the time we got in, I'd say it was a good solid 10 or so. I don't know if you caught the finish. Did you see the film?
No, not all of it yet. I've seen parts of it.
Okay. Suffice to say, she nearly got me with her guillotine choke, which I've seen her win many, many matches with.
Yep.
What Randy failed to realize is that one of the people I train with is former MMA and a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu competitor.
Really?
Nobody knew this information because I wasn't telling anybody this information.
That's good.
I didn't want anybody to
information
have
keep
this
by.
information.
Right. Yeah. That's a good thing to keep back in the back there, so nobody knows.
Thank you. So when she gets me in this guillotine, it looks like I'm fading. It looked like I was fading. And then she relaxed, and I was able to pick her up off the mat because I'm like twice her size. I was carrying her around, and I pretended to fall to my knees because of this choke. And then when the referee wasn't looking, I used an advanced jiu-jitsu escape and I pinned her.
Nice.
I may have had my feet on the ropes. There's some debate about this. What I can tell you is there's no confirmation as to whether that really happened. It was an advanced Brazilian jiu-jitsu move.
I didn't see anything, so I'll go. I agree with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Again, this is the proof.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Now, you said that they had to crown a women's champion, right? So, and you said there was a qualifier match. Is there any other women's champions before this, or are you the first?
There's been some debate as well. I'm told by management that there was a women's champion before, but I got to be honest, I was stoned at work that day. I just nodded and was like, yeah, no, totally.
Right.
I don't remember that information. I do know that we had one, and I do know that somebody put in some results and said inaugural. I don't think that is correct, but I don't mind the idea that I'm the first, only, and forever women's champion. I mean, come on.
I wouldn't lie.
I don't know who did it before. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Won't be your next one.
Oh, I like that one. So going forward, I was reading, and I was, I've seen a few of these promos and things that have come out. You've done, and She has asked for a rematch. I'm right on this? I know I'm right because you said so. And I believe November, was it 14th or something like that? Or
No. It's next weekend already. It's November 7th.
holy shnikes. Wow. So what, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks? You get 2 weeks with the championship and then you got to go back in and defend this dang thing.
Now I get to go back in and defend this thing.
Okay.
Do you know about the stipulations? You saw the commercial I put out. I don't know if your listeners bother with your advertising. I hope they do.
Oh, I hope so too.
I mean, I waste my time over here. Basically, I found out she put in the request, and I can assume what Randy wants when she requests a match. So I said, I'm the champion now. I will determine the stipulations, and it's going to be a submissions only match. Tap out or you pass out. That's it.
Submissions only.
Yeah. I don't know that I've heard. I don't know. I just hadn't heard that happening in a while, and she doesn't know the things that I know.
Well, I would
So I'm
say
excited
not
to
with
show
this Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the background you were talking about that you never released to anybody until recently. How often do you spend in the mat for, rolling in Brazilian?
What I will tell you is I do not go to jiu-jitsu classes. One of my trainers used to fight MMA for a decade.
Okay.
So
All right.
basically, I'll come to him and say, hey, I've been working on this new leg thing. How do I get there?
All right.
And he's like, here's 10 ways.
I get
I'm
that.
like, okay. So when I get there, I want to transfer from that. I want to do like a float over and go into like a front chancery into some kind of like an arm trap. How do I get there? Well, you do do these things. Okay.
That
So
makes sense. That makes
Yeah.
absolute sense. So next weekend, not right now, but next weekend coming up, a week from today, probably,
Yeah.
right? A week from
Yep.
today, you have a submissions only with Randy West defending the Independence Pro Wrestling Women's Championship. This is taking place I know it's on the west side. Can you give me a fresher here?
Jackson. It's
Jackson.
about-
Prison City. Oh, shit.
Yeah, bring your cattle prod if you catch me. You want to be safe in Jackson. I don't even know what the hell's going on down there. It's our debut show. I know there's a bar. I think it's a bar restaurant in the area that we're going to
Okay.
be working with.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's exciting. It's our debut shot, and we figured why not make it a big one to bring some people out? And what's bigger than your new IPW champion? By the way, Cody, can I address something real quickly?
Sure, absolutely. Go right ahead.
In IPW, we have a Michiana champion,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
that's Mr. Derek Wolf.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, is that controversial, or is that have they officially said that he is the champ?
Oh, no. That's been settled for a while. Yeah,
Okay,
he tried to
all
buy it from Aaron O'Ryan back at War on the Shore.
All right.
There was eventually a qualifying match, and he did end up winning that. Not
Okay.
cleanly, but he won it.
All right.
Now we also have a situation because we technically have two men's world champions. We have Aaron O'Ryan and we have Karam. I don't know if you remember the story for us, but Karam was our champion, and then he got injured and was unavailable when we
Yeah.
were coming back to do spring shows.
Right.
So we had to do an interim championship tournament.
Yeah.
And Josh Raymond actually won that. It was a one-night tournament. That's when Aaron O'Ryan challenged him at the next show, and Aaron O'Ryan won that belt from Josh at War on the Shore.
Okay.
Well, Karam has come back. So now we have two guys saying that they're the IPW champion. But here's the thing, and I'm really interested in your input on this.
Uh-oh.
We've never once called Derek Wolf the Michiana men's champion.
Uh-huh.
I've never heard anybody refer to Karam as the IPW men's champion. I've never heard anybody refer to Aaron O'Ryan or our tag team champions as the men's champions. So from here on forward, I am the IPW champion.
The IPW champion. Okay.
And when they're ready to start qualifying their title, I'll do the same thing.
Well, wow. Dang. So, all right. Yeah. Interesting stuff there. I like that one. What what I think with Karam and Aaron, first of all, there's some bad blood there.
Oh,
Lots
more
of
than a
bad
little.
blood. Yeah, there's a lot of bad blood there, and it goes beyond IPW. It goes beyond indie wrestling. It goes legit. Shoot. Problems, right? You know.
What do you know that I don't know?
Well, I
Sounds like
mean,
you know a lot.
just everything. You know, I've talked to Jason Hotch. I've talked to Karam. I've talked to a lot of people, and there's some problems there. Now, and these two gentlemen, I believe. Well, I know at least one. Maybe not Aaron, but Karam. There's a little bit of hostility towards Aaron. You know, and I've seen some.
You might say that.
Yeah, and I've seen some things. I've seen some things. And it's a very interesting time.
It is, and it's really exciting. And I'll tell you what, you've known Aaron O'Ryan for got to be a bunch of years now,
Yeah,
right?
at least
Off and on?
4.
Yeah. You ever once in your life seen Aaron O'Ryan look at somebody with even a smidge of fear in his eyes?
No.
I'm pretty sure I saw at least a twinkle when Karam showed up at IPW a handful of weeks ago.
A twinkle. Well, yeah, if you that guy's like cut from stone.
Well, yeah. The hard one too.
Right. Yeah. Like, holy shit.
He's a beast. And I mean, he was a beast before he went down, and he's just a bigger beast.
Yeah.
He just had a match for us against Dread King Logan at Grave
That's
Danger.
my homeboy.
Oh my God, they destroyed each other's bodies. You should find that one. That was a really great match.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. I mean, he's my homeboy. I am the official homeboy. You know, so, but yeah, for sure. Yeah, he.
Are you Midwest scum?
I will roll. I don't know if they've officially made me part of the scum, but I mean, I'll roll with them. I'll put let's go.
Yeah.
I'll ride dirty.
Tell me what you find out. If it's an easy qualifier, then let me know. I want to join too.
Oh,
I don't want to work very hard, but if it's easy, I'll join.
Right there. I like it. So you have your match coming up this weekend, which obviously you're going to win.
I mean,
Clearly. And going forward, competing in indie wrestling, are you looking to go outside of IPW, or are you going to just only work for IPW, or what's your goals there?
Well, remember we were saying at the beginning of this that sometimes you just kind of wait for an opportunity, you explore the opportunity, and then that opens doors and you explore those opportunities.
Absolutely.
I will do as much as is presented to me. If I meet the right people and I was able to make the right connections and do the right stuff, I would drop everything and do this full time starting tomorrow.
Oh, that's awesome.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Now, the plan is just like, Josh is kind of an old school trainer, and he wants what's best for his students. And he said, I think you're ready to compete. That's why I'm allowing you to compete. Like,
right.
Well, thank you for the allowance. And he said, you need to have at least 5 good ones, in my opinion, as your coach, before we're going to talk about you trying to do other stuff.
Okay.
And I'm not going to question that. I'm not in any hurry. Everything he has said thus far has led me exactly where I want to be. And so I'm going to keep following that game plan. But my plan is absolutely to branch out and to dominate as soon as possible.
World domination. Absolutely nothing wrong with that.
Plan.
Yeah, I like it. Great plan. Great plan. So
I don't do it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you're not in it to win it, why even bother? Might as well just go sit home on the couch and eat Cheetos.
I do love me some Cheetos.
We all love Cheetos, but I got to stop with the Cheetos. Anyway. So, again, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, that down in the description, you can find Davison's social media, as well as IPW social media, as well as Wrestling Rage and MIW, all that wonderful stuff. Thank you so much for stopping by once again. This is your second time here.
This is my second time, and the last one was super fun, but let's not forget, this one might have been a little more important.
True. I mean, that's a nice looking belt for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
everybody enjoys looking at that for as long as I decide to own it.
Well, it's the IPW championship, right?
That is correct. You are looking at IPW's champion.
All right. So there we go. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. Everybody, again, make sure that you smash the thumbs up and you subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you probably tomorrow at 7 for Wrestling Rage, because it is Halloween. I know Josh has got some things going on. I know Dan's got some things. So we'll see. But so if we do it, it's tomorrow at 7. If not, we'll be here for MIDub 6:30-ish, because we're on XI time right here on the Wrestling Rage YouTube channel, r2youtube.com, the letter R, the number 2, youtube.com. Thanks for joining me again, Davison, and have yourself a wonderful day.
Thank you. I'll see you around.
It's going down. This is Wrestling Rage. It's going down. This is Wrestling Rage. This is Wrestling Rage. Cody Fleming is the man who leads the brigade. It's going down. This is Wrestling Rage. It's going down.